Life is full of unexpected twists, turns, and surprises, and you never know when you might need a good life hack. Hello everyone and welcome to It's Good to Know, where we show you how to do things that you may or may not know. So without further interruption, let's get into the show. Music is one of the most magical things that has ever happened to the human race. One of the most common instruments is the guitar, so let's grab one and learn to play.
Guitars are a very vital instrument in most bands. This instrument is used widely across most genres, so let's pick up a guitar and learn a little bit. In this episode of How To, I will be showing you the 3 most common beginner chords.
When you play guitar, there are 6 strings. From top to bottom, you have the E string, A string, D string, G string, B string, and finally, the high E string. One of the most basic chords, and the first one that I learned, was the G chord. For the G chord, you will put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E string. You will put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and finally your ring finger or pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Next we have the C chord. Now this chord is tricky at first, but if you practice you will get it in no time. How you play this chord is you put your pointer finger on the 1st fret of the B string, your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and finally your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. This chord looks like this. The last chord is the D chord. For this chord, I want you to put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, then put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string, and finally your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Now you know how to play 3 of the most basic chords, so you can learn many songs as you can. Keep practicing, and I'll see you on tour. But until then, I'm Ron Astrino from WVTV, back to you in the studio.
Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd uses only 3 chords that we learned, the G, the C, and the D. Stick with the guitar learning and stick with your chords. Self-expression comes in many different forms. Some choose to paint, some choose to write, but some choose to skateboard.
The basis of all modern skate tricks is the flat ground ollie. The flat ground ollie, created by Rodney Mullen in 1982, creates many of the fundamentals and skills needed to do more complex skate tricks. Today, I'm going to show you my essentials to a perfect ollie.
All you need to start is a standard skateboard of any brand and a slab of concrete or some other area on which you can skate. The first thing to ensure a solid ollie is to stretch and warm up. Getting the legs stretched and warmed up by riding around or doing kick turns not only gives you less of a chance of hurting yourself, it also helps you get comfortable on the board, which will make the learning process easier. Now that we're warmed up and stretched, let's get started. The first part of the ollie is the pop. The pop is what generates all the power to push you and the board into the air. Let's start by positioning your feet on the board. Different people will tell you different things, but the way I like to do it is placing your front foot a few inches underneath the front set of the bolts with my heel hanging off the back of the board, and your back foot a few inches behind the back set of bolts on the edge of the tail. Make sure when you are getting ready to pop to move onto the ball of your back foot to get that extra power. Now that we're set, let's talk about the key to the pop. The key to the pop is pushing down and not keeping your foot there. This will bring up the back of the board and flatten out the ollie and move your foot into position to land. The next part of the ollie is the slide of your front foot. Using the side of your foot after popping, drag your foot up the board until you hit the bolt, then roll back onto the flat of your foot. The timing may be difficult, so you can practice by popping the board without jumping and sliding your foot till you feel confident enough to jump. Lastly, the final part of the ollie is landing. When landing, it's best to try to get your feet as close to over the bolts as possible. This will give you the most stable landing possible. Well, there you have it, the basis of all skate tricks, the ollie.
So the next time you're out skating around and you feel ready to take us to the next level, give the ollie a try. I'm Caden Nagel from WVTV, back to you in the studio.
Skateboarding, initially called sidewalk surfing, has grown to a staggering 85 million participants worldwide, making it the 6th most popular sport in the world. And with the information in the video, we can make a push for 86. If you're tired of sitting in your room all day with nothing to do, what better way to get active than one of the most underrated activities in the entire world?
So what we're going to be doing today is a wall jump. To me, it's pretty simple, but let me show you a demonstration of what we're going to be doing.
There are a few steps to doing this. First step is find a wall taller than you and check your surfaces to make sure the wall won't break as if you're Kool-Aid Man busting through a wall. Second step is the mental block. Try and get your mind to believe you can do this. Don't force yourself to do this. Third step, go to the wall, place your foot on the wall at an angle, like what I'm doing. This foot will be used to push you up. Make sure you put one of your hands forward so you don't slam into the wall if your foot slips. Step 4, walk away from the wall, then run at it. When you run at the wall, do what I said in step 3, but while you're in the air, you will bring your other leg up and use that to push off the wall. Just remember, when you do this all together, you will get a lot of height. Now I will show you a POV clip of the wall jump.
Well everyone, that's what a wall jump is. Okay, just so you know, you can change the you can also combine this with other parkour moves like a precision, or you can do it into another wall jump. But I hope this tutorial was helpful, and keep training and you'll become a parkour pro.
Parkour continues to be a great way to stay active and stay healthy, and with little motivation, you can be a pro in no time. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today on It's Good to Know. Tune in next time for some more important life skills that you never know that you may need.
Student organization known as Skills USA.
Well, everybody talks about high unemployment. It seems to me that the real problem is the skills gap. There are opportunities available, millions of them. Skills USA is on the front line. They're encouraging soft skills and specific skills. They're the connective tissue in between the opportunities that exist and the hopes that a lot of parents and kids have for their own future.
Learn more at skillsusa.org and microworks.org.
Skills USA, champions at work.